So as it stands now, country Togo is experiencing a political turmoil that has led to a lot of youths on the streets of Lomé protesting against the government over a political reform that it seems to be more of authoritative than being democratic. And as it stands now, it has caused a lot of chaos in the country Togo. My brother Chris here is in the studios with me, and he has a lot of information on this issue. Chris, what is currently happening in Togo?
Yes, so what was supposed to be a very peaceful protest has turned out to be very chaotic in Togo as the youth calls for the resignation of their current president, FAURE Gnassingbé. And this has caused a lot of chaos in Togo currently.
Okay, so who is this man and what is actually going on?
Yes, so the main man of this whole thing, the main figure behind this whole protest is the current president, FAURE Gnassingbé, who is currently the president of the Parliamentary Council.
Okay.
This is a new reform that he made, these changes to the constitution to make him a president of the entire Parliament House indefinitely. So now they have a ceremonial president who is there, but all the power rests on the president of the Parliamentary Council. Yes, so this is the man who is behind the whole protest. I mean, the people are calling for his resignation, yet he's still there. For 20 years, he's still ruling the country. Now, we know that his father ruled for 38 years. And within that 38 years, there were so many reforms. And with this, that is what we've had this kind of protest going on in Togo.
Okay, so let's take a quick shot at this video of how youths are protesting on the streets of Togo.
From the capital, Lomé, to smaller towns across the country, chants of enough is enough fill the air. Protesters say they are fed up with the Gnassingbé family, which has ruled Togo for over 50 years. First under Iyadema Gnassingbé, and now his son, FAURE Gnassingbé, who has been in power since 2005. But what started as a peaceful demonstration quickly turned violent. Heavily armed soldiers were deployed to break up gatherings, reportedly firing live rounds and using tear gas to disperse crowds. Several reports from Lomé indicate that several protesters have been arrested, beaten or gone missing. Prior to the protest, there was internet shutdown and media suppression. Speaking on Weekend Central, member of the Togolese in the diaspora was blunt about the situation in Togo.
We are talking about democratic country. Togo is not a democratic country.
So that is what is currently happening in Togo. As it stands now, as we can see, there are a lot of youths on the streets protesting against this political reforms that they see it to be a form of intimidation on their lives. Now, Chris, what is the main cause or what is leading to this uprising in Togo as it stands now?
Okay, so on my screens now, as we can see, what is really causing this uprising? Now, per the statistics, we are seeing that the cost of living currently in Togo is very high.
Okay.
And now people are saying the current president, let me say the president of the Parliamentary Council, who is FAURE Gnassingbé, is being authoritarian.
Okay.
Do you understand? And then there is poor growth in the economy in Togo. And then there is a lot of corruption. Okay. So all these things put together, they've endured this for this number of years and they want the president to resign. Okay. So let's go to our next slide. Now, military on standby. Now, we still have some military people out there who is trying to bring a stop to the protest. Okay. But then deep down, people are calling for a military takeover in Togo. Okay. So we know that there are some military personnel who are on standby to immediately take over once they see that the cost is very clear for them to carry out with their takeover. Okay. Now, people are saying that all this is happening because of what happened in Burkina Faso. Okay. Because we have Ibrahim Traoré, who people are assuming the Ibrahim Traoré factor is playing a very key role in this uprising that is happening in Togo currently. Okay. So in our next slide, now, Protest erupts. Now, as I said earlier, it was supposed to be a very peaceful protest. But now the government is against each and every person who is fighting against the government.
Okay.
Now, this protest started. There is one popular musician in Togo, Amaron.
Okay.
He made a video and told the youth that, no, I mean, we should rise up and take our nation.
Okay.
When he made that video, he was arrested by the president. And when he was released, he came out to say, oh, he was mad. I mean, he's been through a mental.
So he was going through depression.
Yes, so that made
mental
him
health.
do that. So now, what is making the protest very chaotic is the fact that now they are arresting people. We have 7 dead and we have a lot of people injured.
Okay.
Now let's go to our next slide. So now 80% of the youth behind the powering of the there's 80% of the youth who are behind this uprising in Togo.
Okay.
People are hungry. You know, there is high cost of living. There's a whole lot. For so many years, they've been through this, and the youth is really calling for a change. So that is the youth. I mean, 80% of the youth are in this. Now, there is the international community who are also watching. Now, recently we had a peace deal that was signed between Uganda and Congo, which was overseen by the president of United States. Now, we have other international bodies that are also, I mean, watching and monitoring, I mean, what is going on currently in Togo. So BBC has reported and is saying that 3 days of protests leave 7 dead in Togo. Rights groups say this protest was supposed to end on Saturday, but as we are speaking now, it is still ongoing. Yeah. Now, power tenure of FAURE Gnassingbé, he assumed office May 4th, 2005, and May 3rd, 2025, he amended the constitution and he was sworn in as the president of the Council of Parliament. So this is all about what is really happening in Togo currently. Yeah.
So as it stands now, like you are saying, we have the international bodies following keenly what is happening in Togo. Has there been any military interruption in Togo to calm things aside the Togo military?
Yeah, so for now, we still have the security personnel, the military, the police, who are trying, for now, what they are trying to do is to end the protest. Because as I said earlier, anybody who is against this current government, they arrest them. They've arrested a number of people in Togo, especially the youth in Togo, and they are still currently in custody. Now, there are people who are still protesting against the government, especially for Gnassingbé to resign. And there are other people who are protesting for the release of the people that has been captured. Yes. So yes, we have the military who are still trying to, I mean, end the protest. But ask any foreign military to step in, we've not had anything as such. But we still have a section of the military on standby who are ready to step in once the coast is very clear for a takeover.
Okay, so looking at it, do you think that this protest is going to end anytime soon?
I don't think this protest will end anytime soon. There have been military interventions trying to stop them, but what they are seeking, what they want to see is that the president resigns. Because there's been a series of constitutional amendments to favor him. And the last one is for him to be president of the Parliamentary Council indefinitely, which is not something that I mean,
it's supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be like that. And the people are fed up. For 58 years, the Gnassingbé family has ruled Togo, and they feel like at this time it should end.
At this time it should end. And has the government come out to say anything about this protest, or they are just using the military to end the protest?
Yes, so they are just using the military to end the protest. Now, if there's a constitutional reform, we assume that the entire parliament sat down, they decided to make amendments, they appended their signature, they decided to say yes to the new reform, which makes FAURE Gnassingbé an indefinite president. So now they don't have much to say than to warn people to clear, to get off the streets and stop the protests.
Yes. So as it stands now, how many people have sustained injury so far?
So about 66 and counting. We have 7 people dead, and there's countless number of people that have been arrested. So 66, 70 and counting. I mean, the last time I read through, I realized they had 66 people and 7 dead, and a countless number of people that has been arrested.
So as we are seeing right now, we are seeing Ibrahim Traoré being linked to what is happening in Togo, and people see that there's a possibility that there might be a coup instead of a calm and peaceful protest.
Yes, because as of now, all the people want to see is that the president will resign. FAURE Gnassingbé will just resign. That is what the people are looking out for. And if that doesn't happen, they expect a military takeover. There was one, let me say, journalist who was in Ghana recently and was being interviewed. And he was talking about the fact that they don't want anything else than a military takeover, because they've tried the constitutional rule. It has been monarchy constitution that they've been kind of dealing with, because it has been more of a family rule than some kind of a presidential rule. Do you understand? So now they want to return back to the states where they were voting and electing presidents, because now FAURE Gnassingbé did the same thing. You know, the party that his father used to come into power, at a point, because he can't use the same party to come for elections, he switched the party and joined another party. Made a reform that made him eligible to stand again as a president, and they voted for him. Do you understand? So at a point where his regime or his tenure is supposed to end,
he always brings in
always brings a reform that will favor him to stay. So now all that they want is exactly a replicate of what happened in Burkina Faso to also happen in Togo.
So that means that this shows that the citizens of Togo are really fed up with the system they are living with in Togo. It's quite unfortunate that this is actually happening in Togo, but as it stands now, we are just hoping for the best and all. But coming down to the living cost of the people in Togo, is this the first time they are protesting against their living cost?
No. So the high cost of living in Togo has been there quite for some years and counting. Let's say from right after the COVID era till now. There hasn't been any form of improvement as we can relate it to Ghana here. Probably this year Ghanaians have been seeing some kind of change. But as in Togo, right after the COVID, it has been the same. Cost of living very high, and the level of corruption. Do you understand? These are some of the things that puts so much anger in the youth. Yes. So I mean, high cost of living, so much corruption. I mean, they will mention some level of amount of money that has been going waste. I mean, people are spending it without doing anything for the country. So yes, these are some of the things that is really happening in Togo.
It's quite unfortunate that we have this happening in Togo as it stands now, but we just wish and pray for safety for the people of Togo. We'll give you more updates on this issue.